Please, can you tell somebody?
Hello, this is Chris Heasley with the Chris Heasley Radio Show. The career of a police officer comes with it many jagged edge risks. It's hazardous, it's dangerous, it's taxing on the body. We don't always appreciate our officers, and we send them into the most dangerous locations that we don't want to go ourselves. And with all that being said, it is also low pay. It is a very challenging career. But there's one thing that we as a society make as an offering to make this one-sided situation right, and that is a guaranteed 30-year retirement. And this offering that we as a community, we come together to make, pooling our precious resources as an offering to our officers, allows us to attract the best and the brightest to this dangerous profession. And I want to make this clear. This relationship, this offering is only good, pure, and of the best intentions. And it's a very beautiful thing because it allows our society to stay intact. It keeps our officers on the force. And with that assumption in mind, the question is, did the left, the opportunists that they are, attempt to spoil this relationship? Did they see political opportunity taking advantage of our good-natured interests and profit at the expense of the officer, the citizen, and society as a whole? This is the question. Did the left attempt to sabotage the relationship between community resident and police officer for their own political gains? The defund the police movement was nonsense at its heart. There is not an ounce of logic in the idea of removing our police forces, our police units from the streets. It makes no sense at all. And anyone with a reasonable amount of common sense understands that such an idea would be complete havoc. It would be a complete upheaval of society. It would be a danger to everyone. Crime would be rampant. But the left, with their highly effective corporate media, with the propaganda machine that they have in police, they went for it. They attempted to interfere with and ruin what is a wholesome and good-natured agreement between citizen and police officer. And they inserted the absurd notion of defunding police units across the nation. And through their propaganda effort, they attempted to rationalize something that is completely irrational. And this act certainly took root here in Texas, where in Austin, the defund the police movement had a great effect on Austin. They've defunded the Austin police forces by as much as 1/3. And we can see that Austin is a complete cesspool. It's melting down. It's being ruined. It's crime-ridden. And we are here in Houston. And we cannot detach ourselves from what is happening in Austin. That is our state capital. And what happens there eventually comes here. So we have to take ownership of what's happening in Austin. But here in Harris County, it's also beginning, the defund the police movement. Officers began to speak up just over a year ago at what appeared to be the beginnings of the defund the police movement. Harris County Constable Mark Herman, for his precinct alone, he had reported that his precinct, the budget for his precinct had been reduced by $2 million just for his precinct. And the Texas State Comptroller called out Harris County for its defund the police movements and the illegal nature that it has. And so the question is, what is the intent of the left? Why are they doing? What are their political goals? What are their aims? And it is very simple to understand. It is power and control. Because in a large metropolitan area, a metropolitan area like Harris County, like Houston, the operating budget can be as much as $3 billion. And you see, what American Democrats do is when they see money like that, they cannot help themselves. They have to have the money. When they get near money of that type, they start to get nervous. It's almost like a drug addict near drugs. They cannot help themselves. They have to have it. And so what they do is they begin this absurd propaganda effort to defund the police unit, and they siphon that portion of the budget off to NGOs and contractors that are connected, that are politically connected to the local officials. And once that money's siphoned off, it gets spent, you never see it again. And what they do then is they put a propaganda arm in front of it, and they put a lobbyist arm in front of it to ensure you can never get those funds back and you can never get your police officers back on the streets. So that's prize number one, the $3 billion operating budget. But you see, there's prize number two. And again, it is what I mentioned earlier, that relationship between citizen and police officer, that agreement that we offer them a 30-year guaranteed retirement. You see, that pool of funds is completely off limits. And nobody even suggests that that pool of funds is attainable because it's inconceivable, because we all understand that the officers earned that money. But the brilliance, the evil brilliance of the political left is unmatched. And they've thought this through. You see, that pool of funds is protected by a Praetorian Guard. And that Praetorian Guard is the officers' union. And that union stands in front of the money. And so that's why nobody even considers attaining those funds. But see, what the left has figured out is that if they defund the police movement, there are less officers that can contribute to the officers' union. And when that officers' union budget just begins to get hit and they have to start making layoffs, it gets battered and beaten and it becomes vulnerable and it can no longer stand up to the political left. And then prize number two, the left can sink their teeth into prize number two. These are the goals. These are the goals of the defund the police movement. But these cash prizes are only the goals at the local level. There is a much larger goal here, a goal at a global level. And this is outside of anything local. This is a goal that is put in place by the European billionaire class. And the goal is the centralization of power, the concentration of power. It is the goals of the globalist agenda. And what the globalists are, they are a set of European billionaires that have created the globalist agenda. And the entire purpose of it is to erode your rights and return you to a state of peasantry. That's the goals of the globalists. And what the globalists do is they sit down in their secret meetings in Davos, Switzerland, and they map out their plans on whiteboards, and then they distribute it to their agents across the world to implement these plans. And this is the globalist agenda. And the globalists, they never like diversification. They don't like it. And see, the way our police forces are today is they are completely diversified. There's a diverse set of police forces. And what I mean by that is that they are not connected in any way, shape, or form. They are independent. And what I mean is that you have police departments at the city level, at the township level, at the bureau, at the village, at the county level, at the state level. You have specialized police forces. And then at the federal level, it is a multifaceted, large, diverse group of police forces. And that doesn't work for the globalists. And so what the globalists do is they implement the defund the police movement to ruin our police forces. And then they can begin making the argument that once the police forces are ruined, that they can create one police force that ultimately reports to Davos, Switzerland. That is the goal of the globalist agenda. And so the question becomes for our local officials. You see, our local officials, by law, can only be representing our interests. They cannot be representing any interests of any foreign entity. They cannot be agents of foreign adversaries. They cannot be operatives. They cannot be representing interests that are alien to our own. They are not allowed to be implementing the globalist agenda, but are they? That is the question. And if they are implementing an agenda that is foreign to our own, there are very steep legal consequences that come with that. So the question becomes, are they doing? Well, when they promote the idea, the absurd idea that there is sense in defunding our police units, an idea that has no sense in it, you have to question their motives. That's the question. And I think the other point that we have to consider is how our police forces get trodden out in this process. They get leveraged. They get used like political pawns or political tools, where the left will put them in this position to actually defund their units, put them in harm's way so that they can attain their political goals. But you see, today in America, we are in a new phase. We are in what is called the Great Awakening, where we are awakening to these ideas. We are awakening to this nefarious agenda being put on us. And as a result of that, we have a new set of people that are attempting to take our political offices over and return our country back to sanity, back to decency, back to what America was intended for. And today, on our show, on the Chris Heasley Show, we have two guests today. We have G2 and we have Ali Sheikhani, and I will introduce Ali in just a second. But I'd just like to say that the whole purpose of this show is to give you the ideas, the content, the information that you need to return your community back to the residents themselves. That is what the purpose of the Chris Heasley Show is. We will give you those ideas, and then the ball is in your court. And with that being said, I'd like to introduce Ali Sheikhani. Ali, how are you doing today?
I'm really good, sir. How are you?
Good. It's very good to have you here. So, first, please tell us exactly what office you're running for.
I'm running for Fort Bend County Constable Prison 3 office as a Republican candidate.
Very good. And I know you have a very interesting background. So let's just hear it from the beginning. Tell us about where you're from, how you got your start, your career, everything of that sort.
That's good. Sorry. The weather is getting me. So I was born in Pakistan and came here when I was young. Started my career as a gas station employee. Went to school here, finished my college degrees here. Opened a business, one business, and second and third and fourth, different businesses. And I went to police academy a couple of years back. After I got all my degrees, and then I became a police officer. And went to Harris County Constable Prison 2 office as a deputy. Finished my FTO training there. And then now I'm in Galveston County, Hitchcock PD. So after I settled my business really good, I own good businesses in the state of Texas, a very well-settled company. After that, I decided, I'm a police officer and already successful in business, so I want to do something for my community. Then I decided to run for the Fort Bend County Constable office as a Republican candidate. So from the first day till now, it's a long journey, 14th-month journey, and I'm sitting here, and tomorrow is the election day.
Very good. As I understand it, your business career is quite exceptional. You have an incredible resume of businesses under your belt. Why do you want to go for county constable with that career, that you have in the business field?
Okay, business. I own, just an example, gas stations, vape shops, churches, chicken, and different types of business. I have 2,000 plus employees in America. But in the same time, I was like, what I did for the community. So that's why I decided to run for this office. And I know why I'm running for this office, because of the crime. And there's so many things. What you just said, I was just listening about defunding department and everything. But in this Fort Bend County right now is a different case. It's not defunding the department, it's a management issue right now. So that's why I was like, I'm a successful businessman. I do whatever I can do. I'm a good police officer. So I was like, if I will do something like that, run for the office and try to do something for the community, because I'm sure you have an idea what's going on in Fort Bend County right now. Since 2021 and 22, and most likely 22 was the worst year, and 23, I haven't checked the report yet, but in 2021 and 22, the crime rate went up more than 22.3% right now. And someone got to take a step and control the crime, or it's going to be very, very bad in future.
Okay, I want to talk about that, but before we get into that, What is a constable?
Okay, constable is an elected official. Under constable is a civil duty. Like civil duty is like all the civil papers, you get served. That's a constable thing. And different constable department. Like Harris County is a different ways. Fort Bend County is a different way. So you have JP courts comes under you for the all the warrants and everything. You have civil duties, and then you have some criminal division as well, patrol department. So the constable does everything together, like what police does, what sheriff does. There's a big thing, people think constable is just for the civil. No, it's not for the civil. Constable, sheriff, city police, state trooper, they all have the same license but different departments, right? So constable is a police officer, do everything what a sheriff deputy does or sheriff department does, but in a small level.
Do they who do constables report to? Are they under the sheriff's umbrella, or
No,
where are they at?
They don't report to sheriff. They have their department, and the constable doesn't report to sheriff or mayor or anybody else.
So they do primarily, as you said, that's what I thought too, that they do the servicing for the JP courts, the small claims
correct.
courts, right? But you're saying that that's not their only function, that they go well beyond that. They are a full
They have like
policing.
a contract, like just an example, they started a couple of years back. Like just an example, there's one area, like just an example, Aliana or anywhere in Sugarland, whatever the constable office is. So there's a neighborhood, right? So Mud District hired constable and give them a contract. Yeah, I'm gonna need 2-3 officers here for like day and night. So they pay too as well. So constable office get paid by the county and from the contract too, and from the Mud District as well.
And okay, and so, but as far as the where they're getting paid, and as far as the duties that they do outside of the JP court, could you just repeat that one more time, please? What is the duties that they do outside of serving JP court documents?
Okay, so they do patrolling as well. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna go detail on constable what Prison 3 does, but I can tell you like the broad what other constable office does. Just an example, they have a criminal unit. I mean, in Harris County, a lot of constable office has DWI unit. Some has gang intelligence. Some has CID. So Prison 3 is not doing everything right now, but in future might they will.
And did you initially intend, like, how did you initially intended to go into law enforcement, but then you stumbled into business? Or, I mean, how did that happen that you're crossing in these two paths?
Okay. So I went to police academy when I believe it's like 2018-17. And that time I was a very successful businessman as well. So I always wanted to be a cop for I want to do something good. I mean, it always from inside, I want to do something good, So, I mean, I work as a police officer. I go once in a week, do my patrolling. It's just free of cost for the community. So I was doing my business, and in the meantime, I applied and got selected in the police academy. So I went and finished my police academy because I just always want to be a cop. There's a saying, anybody can be a businessman or rich, whatever, but everybody cannot be a police officer. So that's why, I mean, that's two different paths. One is businessman, one is police.
It sounds like, I'm sorry, please. Mm-hmm.
So I decided, I'm going to go as a police officer as well and a businessman as well.
So it sounds like business is your career and policing is your passion. And you're attempting to, you have your career sort of already made, you're set, and now you're attempting to give back, to serve the community through this function as a constable.
That's correct.
That is very interesting. Okay, so let's talk about Harris or Fort Bend County. Tell me about crime. Give me the stats. What's going on there?
So Fort Bend County right now. I'm not gonna talk about just sheriff office or constable office or Sugarland PD or any type of police station right now. I'm gonna talk about the stats for Fort Bend County right now. 2018, the crime went down. Matter of fact, like 12%. And 19 was okay, and 20 was just worse. And 21 and 22, right now, the crime went up for 22.3%, which is robberies, breaking, car theft, like all over. And I haven't checked the 2023 one yet, but I can guarantee you it's going to be worse than 2022. So it's just crazy. Like Fort Bend County is turning to next Harris County. That's sad.
What do you attribute it to?
Crime-wise. Like just an example, where are this all the criminals coming from, right? Whenever they go to Fort Bend County, like you can say Sugarland, you can say Richmond, you can say all the different Stafford, right? When you drive there, back in the days, you will see some police presence. Right now, I mean, you can drive all day long. You're not even gonna find one police officer. When criminal comes and with a criminal mind, you know what? I'm gonna do something with this community, or I'm gonna do something in this area or this street. They always come first and check it out. You know, as a police officer, I can tell you with my expertise. They come and check, you know, who's there nighttime, who's in the daytime. Or can I rob this shop? Or can I do that thing? You know, when they come, they don't see any police presence. So for them, it's really easy, the good target because there's no police available. So the first thing, the biggest thing we are lacking in Fort Bend County, there's no police presence.
So, if you're elected, what will you bring that's going to rectify this situation?
In one word, you have to have a better management. When management is there, good. Trust me, you can do a lot of things. There's no management. I mean, just an example. You and me are here. If there's not a good management, the Radio Dabang cannot be managed properly. Anything, any department, you know, you have to have a good management. Once the management is good, you can do a lot of things.
Who is the current constable that you potentially will be running against?
Current constable from Democrat side is Constable Nabil Shaikh.
And so you're asserting that he is not managing things properly, or tell me what your opinion is of him.
I would not put anything on him. Trust me. I would not say anything about him, bad or good, doesn't matter. But I would just say it's not managing properly. That's what I would say. That's it.
So, should you go up against him in the general? What are your general talking points when you will be debating with him, verbally sparring with him out in the political sphere?
We're gonna talk about the facts. The facts are why. When I'm not gonna say Constable Shaikh, I'm just gonna say any individual whoever's gonna come on general. Maybe if I'm gonna come tomorrow's election day, I don't know what's gonna happen. So if I go in general, or maybe I see Constable Shaikh or somebody else, or maybe Constable Shaikh go up and maybe he sees somebody else on general. I don't know. Tomorrow's election day. I will talk about the facts. The facts are, excuse me. The facts are, this is the budget, whatever the budget we have in Constable Prison 3 office, right? When he started the office, that time we had like 50 plus deputies. Why we have 23, 24 left? Why we lost contracts?